Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Naresh Mago and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. Polling underway in Bihar for third and final phase of assembly elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls upon youth to bring in new innovations, says technology will play a major role in post-COVID world. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 92.41%. India's latest all-weather Earth observation satellite EOS-01 to be launched by ISRO this afternoon. A record number of more than 11 lakh MSMEs register on new online portal Udyam. And in US, Democrat Joe Biden is inching towards becoming 46th president. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. Now the news. Amidst tight security arrangements, the third and final phase of assembly elections is underway in Bihar today. Polling is progressing peacefully in 78 constituencies spread over 15 districts, including Kishanganj, Katihar, Madhepura and Supaul in this phase. Polling for by-election to Valmiki Nagar parliamentary seat is also being held simultaneously. 7 candidates are in the fray for this Lok Sabha seat. Over 2.35 crore voters will decide the fate of 1,204 candidates, including 110 women in this phase. Polling began at 7 in the morning and will end at 6 in the evening. Chief Electoral Officer H.R. Srinivas said polling will be held up to 4 p.m. in 4 Naxal-affected constituencies of Valmiki Nagar, Ramnagar, Simri, Bakhtiarpur and Mahishi. Out of 33,782 polling stations, 4,999 are considered vulnerable. Additional Chief Electoral Officer Sanjay Kumar Singh said that security forces have been deployed in Naxal-infested areas to ensure trouble-free polling. The Election Commission has instructed everyone to follow COVID protocols during the polls. Every person has to wear a face mask during the election-related activities. Thermal scanning of all people is being carried out and sanitizers must be kept at all locations during the polling. All polling booths have been sanitized. Due to the pandemic, only 1,000 instead of 1,500 voters will cast their vote at each polling station. The BJP is contesting in 35 seats, while Janata Dal United on 37, Vikashsheel Insan Party 5 seats, and Hindustani Awam Morcha 1 seat in this phase. The RJD is contesting in 46 seats, Congress in 25, and left parties in 7 seats. On the other hand, the LJP has fielded 42 candidates, RLSP 23, BSP 19, and NCP 31 candidates. This phase is crucial for JDU as the party had won 23 seats in the 2015 assembly elections. The BJP and the RJD had won 20 seats each and Congress 11. 4 others were also elected. Political fortunes of Assembly Speaker Vijay Kumar Chaudhary, Chief of Vikashsheel Insan Party Mukesh Sahni, and President of Jan Adhikar Party Pappu Yadav will be decided in this phase. 12 ministers, including Vijendra Yadav, Bima Bharati, Feroz, and Ramesh Rishidev, are also in the fray. Let's go over live to our correspondent KK Lal, who is in Vaishali, for the latest updates. Mr. Lal, how is the polling going on in Patepur, Vaishali? Is it better than the previous phases?
Naresh, over 41% voters have exercised their right of franchise till 1 p.m. People are very enthusiastic in coming to vote despite COVID fears. Elderly and women wearing masks are also standing in queue to vote. Long queue is being seen at many booths. Voting percentage is likely to be more this time in comparison to the first and second phase of elections. Since the election is being held amid COVID pandemic, special arrangements have been made. Wearing mask is mandatory for all stakeholders. Thermal screening of all persons is being carried out and sanitizers are made available at all locations. All polling booths have been sanitized thoroughly before polling. Naresh.
Which are all the VIP constituencies that have gone to polls today?
Naresh, the political fortune of Assembly Speaker Vijay Kumar Chaudhary and Chief of Vikasil Insan Party Mukesh Sahni will be decided in this phase. Jan Adhikar Party President Pappu Yadav is trying his luck from Madhepura Assembly constituency. 12 sitting ministers including Vijendra Yadav, Bima Bharti, Firoz and Vinod Narayan Jha are also in the fray. Senior RJD leader and former minister Abdul Bari Siddiqui, Congress leader Shakil Ahmad Khan and CPI State Secretary Ram Naresh Pandey are also in the fray. Naresh.
Thank you, Mr. Lal, for the update. Elections are being held in 3 phases for the 243-member Bihar Legislative Assembly. The first phase of polling was held on 28th October and the second on 3rd November.
In Manipur, polling is underway in 4 assembly constituencies spread over 3 districts. The polls for Wangoi, Lailong, Wangjing Tentha and Saitu began at 7 a.m. and would continue till 5 p.m. 58.66% of votes were cast till 1 p.m. Over 1.35 lakh electorates will decide the fate of 11 candidates. The ruling BJP is contesting on 3 seats, while one independent candidate from Lailong Assembly constituency has the support from BJP. The opposition Congress is fielding candidates in all 4 assembly constituencies, while the National People's Party (NPP) is contesting from Wangai Assembly constituency. Remaining are independent candidates. Wangoi, Lailang and Wangjing Tentha have 3 candidates each, while Saitu witnessed a straight fight between BJP and Congress. Polling is in progress peacefully and there is no report of any untoward incident till the filing of this report. In Nagaland, fresh polls are being held today in 2 polling stations of 60 Prungro Kifire Assembly constituency. The polling stations are 8 Kipongya Ward, A Kifire Town and 11 Singrep. The voting, which began at 6 a.m. and is peacefully underway amidst security and following strict COVID-19 norms. Till 1 p.m., the polling percentage in 8 Kipongya Ward, A Kifire Town recorded at 52.50%, while 55.54% voters turned out in polling station 11 Singrep. The Election Commission of India on November 5th had announced the repolling in these 2 polling stations after it declared the poll taken on November the 3rd as void. Counting of votes in 14 Southern Angami, 1 and 60 Pungro Kifire Assembly constituencies will take place on the 10th of November.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called upon the country's youth to bring in new innovations and expressed commitment to give them the ease of doing business. The Prime Minister asked the youth to work on providing the ease of living through their innovations while the country gives them the ease of business. Virtually addressing the 51st convocation of IIT Delhi today, Prime Minister Modi said, innovation is a major strength for the success of the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign. He stressed that self-reliance is equally important along with globalization.
कोविड-19 ने दुनिया को एक बात और सिखा दी है। ग्लोबलाइजेशन महत्वपूर्ण है, लेकिन इसके साथ साथ सेल्फ रिलायंस भी उतना ही जरूरी है। आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान आज देश के नौजवानों को, टेक्नोक्रेट्स को, टेक एंटरप्राइज लीडर्स को अनेक नई अपॉर्चुनिटीज देने का भी एक अहम अभियान है।
He said it is for the first time that so much potential has been created for innovation and new startups in the agriculture sector.
पहली बार एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में इनोवेशन और नए स्टार्टअप्स के लिए अनगिनत संभावनाएं बनी हैं। पहली बार स्पेस सेक्टर में प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट के रास्ते खुले हैं। 2 दिन पहले ही बीपीओ सेक्टर के ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस के लिए भी सरकार ने अदर सर्विसेज प्रोवाइडर ओएसपी गाइडलाइंस को एकदम सिंप्लीफाई कर दिया है। इसके अलावा बैंक गारंटी सहित दूसरी अनेक जरूरतों से भी बीपीओ इंडस्ट्री को मुक्त किया गया है।
The Prime Minister said the youth today will have to work with a new mantra, focus on quality, ensure scalability, assure reliability and bring in adaptability. The Prime Minister said his government brought new laws, and today India is one of the lowest corporate tax charging countries in the world. He added that in the last 5 years, the number of patents has risen 4 times.
स्टार्टअप इंडिया इस अभियान के बाद से भारत में 50,000 से भी ज्यादा स्टार्टअप शुरू हुए हैं। सरकार के प्रयासों का असर है कि पिछले 5 वर्षों में देश में पेटेंट की संख्या 4 गुना हो गई है। ट्रेडमार्क रजिस्ट्रेशन में भी 5 गुना वृद्धि दर्ज की गई है। इसमें भी फिनटेक के साथ साथ एग्रो, डिफेंस और मेडिकल सेक्टर से जुड़े स्टार्टअप अब तेजी से बढ़ रहे हैं।
He said that in the last few years, over 20 unicorns have been built by Indians in the country. He added, under the National Infrastructure Pipeline, the government is investing over 1 lakh crore rupees. He said state-of-the-art infrastructure is being built in the entire country that will fulfill the needs of the present and the future. He congratulated all students who are graduating today as well as their parents. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that 5 years ago, India took a historic step towards ensuring the well-being of the great soldiers who courageously protect the nation. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said, 5 years of OROP is a momentous occasion. He added, India waited for OROP for decades. The Prime Minister saluted the veterans for their remarkable service. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that a sum of over 10,795 crore rupees has been disbursed to 20,60,220 Defence Forces pensioners and family pensioners as arrears on account of the implementation of the OROP. This includes payment of over 348 crore rupees made to Nepali pensioners as well. He said for about 6 years starting 1st July 2014, the total recurring expenditure works out to approximately 42,740 crore rupees. He added OROP implies that uniform pension be paid to the armed forces personnel retiring in the same rank with the same length of service regardless of their date of retirement. The Defence Minister said the OROP has bridged the gap between the rate of pension of current and past retirees at periodic intervals. The welfare of the armed forces and their families is the unwavering commitment and the topmost priority. Home Minister Amit Shah said that the Narendra Modi government is committed towards the welfare of the country's brave armed forces who secure the motherland against all odds. In a tweet, the Home Minister said, the implementation of the decades-long pending OROP 5 years ago was the testimony of the same. BJP President JP Nadda said that the 5 years of OROP has benefited more than 20 lakh Defence Forces pensioners and family pensioners. In a series of tweets, Mr. Nadda said, Prime Minister Modi has always boosted the morale of the valorous soldiers and defence personnel.
The National Testing Agency, NTA, will conduct the All India Sainik Schools Entrance Examination 2021 on the 10th of January next year for admissions to class 6th and 9th in 33 Sainik schools spread across 23 states and 1 union territory. Defence Ministry said the process of online applications, which started on the 20th October, will close on the 19th November 2020. Candidates are required to submit their applications after registering on the website www.aissee.nta.nic.in. The ministry said from the academic session 2021-22, reservation in admission for OBC NCL category has been introduced. Girl candidates are now eligible for admission to class 6 in all 33 Sainik schools. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Polling underway in Bihar for the third and final phase of assembly elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls upon youth to bring in new innovations, says technology will play a major role in post-COVID world. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 92.41%. India's latest all-weather Earth observation satellite EOS-01 to be launched by ISRO this afternoon. A record number of more than 11 lakh MSMEs register on new online portal Udyam. And in US, Democrat Joe Biden inching towards becoming 46th president. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें,
The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 92.41%. During the last 24 hours, more than 53,000 COVID patients have recovered. The Health Ministry has said the total number of recoveries has gone up to over 78 lakh. The actual caseload currently comprises only 6.11% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 5,16,000. The ministry said 77% of the new cases are from 10 states and union territories. Delhi has overtaken Maharashtra and Kerala and reported 7,178 new cases in the last 24 hours. Kerala has recorded 7,002 new cases and Maharashtra has reported 6,870 new cases yesterday. During the last 24 hours, 50,357 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country to over 84 lakh. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.48%, which is one of the lowest globally. During the last 24 hours, 577 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,25,562. The Health Ministry has said more than 27.9% of the new fatalities are reported from Maharashtra with 161 deaths, followed by Delhi with 64 deaths and West Bengal with 55 new deaths. According to the Indian Council of Medical Research, more than 11,13,000 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours. The total number of samples tested so far has reached 11,65 lakh. In Rajasthan, the recovery rate of COVID-19 has reached above 91%. 1,810 people recovered yesterday, while 1,797 new cases were reported. With the death of 11 people, the total number of deceased has increased to 1,966. Our correspondent reports that the number of active cases in the state has gone up to 16,277.
Jaipur has reported the highest 307 new cases yesterday. 191 persons in Jodhpur, while 165 persons have been tested positive for COVID-19 in Bikaner. Not a single new case reported from Savai Madhopur. The number of active patients in Bara, Dholpur, Karoli, Pratapgarh and Savai Madhopur district is less than 100. At the same time, the number of active patients in Jaipur and Jodhpur remains more than 4,000. Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. Raghu Sharma has said that corona cases are declining, but people should not be careless. He said that there is a possibility of a second wave of COVID in winter. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
The monthly report of the Department of Economic Affairs of the Union Finance Ministry has said that the recovery rate of COVID-19 patients in Maharashtra is 91.1%. The optimistic picture presented in the report on Maharashtra's fight against COVID-19 has been attributed to the consistent and various measures taken by the central and state governments. Steps such as providing quality healthcare facility and COVID tests at a cost-effective price have been prominently mentioned in the report. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
The report of the Department of Economic Affairs of the Union Finance Ministry states that Maharashtra features in the list of states where the cases of COVID-19 have declined in October as compared to September this year. It also says that in Maharashtra, behind 10 lakh population, 13,945 patients were identified. Out of them, 6.3% patients are undergoing treatment and the recovery rate stands at 91.1%. The report also states that the mortality rate due to COVID-19 has been 2.6%. 92,50,254 tests have been done so far in Maharashtra. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Tripura, 110 cases of COVID-19 were detected in the last 24 hours, while 126 patients were discharged after recovery during the period. 2 patients died yesterday, taking the toll to 353. Alongside, the state has touched 95% mark in the recovery rate of COVID-19 patients. The total number of infected people rose to 31,347, out of which 29,769 have recovered. Presently, 1,199 patients are undergoing treatment.
India's latest all-weather Earth observation satellite EOS-01 will be launched by the National Space Agency ISRO this afternoon using the workhorse rocket PSLV-C49. 9 other customer satellites will also be carried into space by the rocket in its 51st flight. It will be ignited at 3:02 p.m. from the first launch pad at the Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota, in southern Andhra Pradesh, close to Chennai. The 26-hour countdown for the launch mission began at 1:02 p.m. yesterday and is progressing smoothly. Here is more from our correspondent.
This will be India's first mission from her launch pad at Sriharikota this calendar year. The ISRO scientists say the sequence of preparations ahead of the launch as part of the countdown is progressing with precision. The Earth observation satellite EOS-01 is equipped with the synthetic aperture radar that has an enviable resolution. Coincidentally, the launch of its peer, RISAT-2BR-1, is the previous mission that took place from the National Spaceport in December last year. The intended applications of the satellite include agriculture, forestry, and disaster management support. Its operational life will be 5 years, providing crucial data seamlessly. Jai Singh, AAR News, Chennai.
More than 11 lakh micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, have registered on the new online system of MSME Udyam registration till date. The Ministry of MSME has revised the definition of MSMEs and process of registration with effect from 1st July this year. This portal is seamlessly integrated with CBDT and GST networks, as also with the government e-marketplace GEM. The ministry said 7,98,000 enterprises are owned by male entrepreneurs, whereas 1,73,000 enterprises are owned by female entrepreneurs. He said 3,72,000 enterprises have registered under the manufacturing category, whereas 6,31,000 enterprises were under the services sector. Besides, more than 11,000 enterprises are owned by Divyang entrepreneurs. Railways Minister Piyush Goyal has urged the Punjab government to ensure full safety and security of the entire railway system in the state and allow running of all trains through and to Punjab so that goods and passenger trains can serve the people of Punjab. In a tweet, Mr. Goyal said, operationally, it is important that all tracks, stations and railway property are clear for safety of passengers, railway staff and infrastructure. He said people of Punjab want to travel for festivals like Chhath Puja, Diwali and Guru Purab. In the United States, Democrat candidate Joe Biden is on the verge of emerging victorious as the 46th President of the United States of America in one of the most closely fought elections in the recent past. Mr. Biden has said that the voting numbers tell a clear and convincing story that the Democrats are going to win the presidential race. In his address to the nation, he said that people have given the mandate to the Democratic Party to take action on COVID, economy, climate change, and systemic racism.
We're going to win this race with a clear majority with the nation behind us. We've gotten over 74 million votes. That's more than any presidential ticket has ever gotten in the history of the United States of America. And we're going to be the first Democrat to win in Arizona in 24 years.
Mr. Biden asked everyone to remain calm and patient and urged people to let the process take its course as the votes are still being counted in key states including Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, and North Carolina.
When the counting began yesterday, Democrats registered significant lead in crucial state of Pennsylvania. The party has also been able to gain lead in the traditionally Republican stronghold state of Georgia. Joe Biden is currently leading with 253 electoral votes, whereas incumbent president and Republican Party candidate Donald Trump stands at 213 electoral votes. Democrats have already managed to flip Wisconsin and Michigan in this presidential election. Georgia with 16 electoral votes and Pennsylvania with 20 electoral votes will give Biden a substantial lead in the race to the White House. Democratic Party is also leading in Arizona and Nevada. For AIR News, Anand Chaturvedi, Delhi.
Amidst the ongoing counting process, Republican candidate Donald Trump has challenged the lengthy process of counting mail ballots across many key states. Raising serious allegations, the Trump campaign team has also filed legal suits against the process in the states of Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Arizona, among others. Meanwhile, a U.S. Supreme Court justice has denied a request by Pennsylvania's Republicans yesterday to immediately halt the counting of ballots arriving after Election Day, referring the case to the full court to consider today. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito issued an order yesterday directing Pennsylvania officials to continue keeping the late arriving ballots separate, affirming a decision already made by the state's top elections official, Kathy Bukwa, who told that they were unlikely to affect the outcome in any case.
The air quality in Delhi NCR region has further deteriorated and reached severe category today. According to the Central Pollution Control Board, Delhi's air quality index was recorded at 405 at 12 noon. According to the System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research SAFAR, surface winds have become calm this morning and pollutants are accumulating near the surface. Uttar Pradesh government has launched awareness campaign regarding the burning of crop remains in many parts of the state. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has appealed to the farmers of state not to burn remains of their crops and instead make compost with it. More from our correspondent.
With the growing smog and deteriorating air quality in many cities of the state, government has launched awareness campaign for the farmers and appealing them to not to burn their crop remains, popularly known as parali. Additional Chief Secretary Agriculture Devesh Chaturvedi has instructed officials to take help of cadets of NCC, NSS, Bharat Scouts and Guides for making farmers aware about the growing pollution and the bad effects of burning the crops. Administration is also taking action against the farmers who are burning their crop remains. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has instructed officials to behave properly with farmers while taking action against them for burning the remains, which is prohibited. Meanwhile, opposition Bahujan Samaj Party today condemned the action on farmers. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa launched a Clean Air Street initiative in Bengaluru today. Here is more from our correspondent.
The test bed will see on trial basis how a street chosen can mitigate pollution by only allowing pedestrians in it. Chief Minister has said that Church Street is India's first ever Clean Air Street test bed. He said that 95 lakh vehicles in Bengaluru are responsible for the 50% of the pollution in the city. A street curbing vehicles will help improve the environment. This curb will be only on Saturdays and Sundays between morning 10 a.m. to midnight. Those residing in the Church Street will be provided a conduit to enter and exit near Rest House Road and MG Road Cross. The pilot project will be studied from this month to February next year, and if found viable, then it will be implemented on other streets too in the city. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
The Assam government has issued an advisory against the use of imported crackers during the Diwali festival. In an order issued by the Home Department, all deputy commissioners and SPs were instructed to ensure that imported firecrackers be not sold or stocked in the state.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital will have misty sky. In Mumbai, the sky will be mainly clear. Chennai will have a partly cloudy sky. Kolkata is expected to have a clear sky. In Jammu and Kashmir, Jammu and Srinagar cities will have a mainly clear sky. In Leh, sky will be mainly clear. Gilgit will also see a clear sky, and in Muzaffarabad, sky will be mainly clear.
On to sports. In IPL cricket, Sunrisers Hyderabad will take on Delhi Capitals in the second qualifier, which will be played at Sheikh Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi tomorrow. Sunrisers Hyderabad beat Royal Challengers Bangalore by 6 wickets in the eliminator match in Abu Dhabi yesterday. With the win, they've entered the qualifier too. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Polling underway in Bihar for third and final phase of assembly elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls upon youth to bring in new innovations, says technology will play a major role in the post-COVID world. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 92.41%. India's latest all-weather Earth observation satellite EOS-01 to be launched by ISRO this afternoon. A record number of more than 11 lakh MSMEs register a new online portal, Udyam. And in the United States, Democrat Joe Biden inching towards becoming the 46th president. With that, we end the midday news.